this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 3 upcoming projects that they have for release in 2025, and whether this year will see ultimate success or failure for the long time running franchise. Now there might be spoilers here ahead for all entries within the MCU regarding movies and television, so just beware when going to this overall video. So as most of us know now, 2025 will see 3 Marvel films released, closing out their Phase 5 and also starting up their Phase 6. The first of these entries will of course be Captain America Brave New World, due for release on February 17th, 2025. Now out of the 3 films, I think this is the one that's going to have some real problems. We see here that the story will be Sam Wilson's The Falcon taking on the mantle of Captain America, which has always been a contentious issue for many fans and critics ever since he took over the costume and shield from Steve Rogers in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. We've had the accusations of diversity initiative taking over or ruining a legacy character. We asked the question, why couldn't Falcon have had his own individual story? And to be honest, I do agree with this sentiment. The film has gone through numerous reshoots that have reportedly taken its budget to near over $300 million, and the test screenings allegedly have been mixed to negative. And overall, I do think this is a bit of a shame, because both of the trailers that I've seen show the film to be quite of some decent to good quality. We have that same vibe of political conspiracy and government cover-up, the same action and lean pace that we saw from the Captain America Winter Soldier, an entry that many still regard today as amongst the true elites of the MCU. Anthony Mackie has always carried screen charisma and is very likeable in the role of Sam Wilson. Harrison Ford was a great addition as President Ross and will bring a certain gravitas. Same also for Giancarlo Esposito, who we assume will be the prime antagonist. And the appearance of Red Hulk, even though it's not interesting for me, should at the very least bring in some casual viewers to the overall film. So there is a lot of promise for this story, but I do feel overall that it's the normal case of asking that question. Did Falcon as Captain America need to be made into a movie outside of diversity virtual signaling? And the likely answer to this question is no. So overall, we might be looking here at a worldwide gross maybe in the region of $300 to $500 million. Again, the critical reception is going to be key as whether this film will succeed. Now, I do understand that the antagonism towards Marvel has built certainly over the last 3 to 4 years, but as we've seen with the likes of both Deadpool and Wolverine and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the franchise still has the potential to gross massive and be big and successful if it can indeed capture the interest of its audience and also deliver what the fans are asking for. So it isn't all despair for this project, and I do believe that it won't be the complete disastrous flop that what we saw with the Marvels, but I don't think this is anyway going to be the cultural transcendent film that perhaps Marvel was certainly hoping for, especially from their Phase 4. So we then talked about 4 in terms of Fantastic Four: The First Steps, which is the first entry of Marvel's Phase 6, the first original family or comic book property of Marvel Comics, is what I believe to be the most integral of the 3 movies of 2025 for Marvel, as being an origin story set in this kind of retro futuristic 60s era, showing how 4 scientists on a space mission getting their cosmic radiated powers, really taking the same approach as the first Captain America film, where we show their entire origin in a previous period. We also assume that we will see the origins of both Doctor Doom, who we all know will be played by Robert Downey Jr. later on in the Avengers films coming up in a couple of years. And as the trailer showed when it was presented in the D23 event, we will also see some showing of Galactus also. And both Doctor Doom and Galactus are villains who really should have that Thanos level in terms of build-up and significance, developed over multiple movies and phases. But I fully understand that the MCU is not at the place that it was from phases 1 to 3, where it felt it could take the time to really build this overarching storyline as well as having these offshoot standalone entries in between. As we are seeing now with a lot of the OG Avengers coming back, so Robert Downey Jr. was already confirmed, as well as Chris Evans, Hayley Atwell has been confirmed, and also Scarlett Johansson, it does seem that Marvel is in a certain state of desperation here, and I do worry that such iconic antagonists such as Doctor Doom and Galactus won't get the full development that they overall deserve. We will also get some hint into the Silver Surfer, which sadly will be gender swapped. Again, another massive underutilization of an iconic character. But at the very least, Fantastic Four seems to have that really bright, optimistic tone, which should be appealing to more mainstream viewers. Now, if Marvel is really smart, they will try to link elements of the Fantastic Four story to the future projects in some capacity, again to drive up the hype and interest. Whilst the Fantastic Four as an entity are well known within fandom, they're much lesser known within the general audience. Nowhere near the same iconic status as what we saw with the X-Men. Yes, we have had 3 live-action films previously surrounding the Fantastic Four, but they didn't make the same impact back then as what we saw with certainly the likes of the Spider-Man, X-Men and the Blade films. So the retro origin story does free this movie of having to exist in the convoluted multiverse currently within the MCU. They do have a good cast of actors, especially Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby, who have proven to be very prolific over the last couple of years. But it will be that first full trailer when it gets overall released online. They'll probably make a few edits as to the one that was shown on D23, which is also leaked in certain capacity online. And they'll probably show the trailer next to Captain America Brave New World, if that makes any sense, in order to really sell this project. But as I stated, for me, this is the most important of Marvel's films in 2025 because it is really the launch pad of Phase 6, and there will surely be some foundations as to what is going ahead in the future. And ultimately, I do think it will be the most successful of the 3, probably looking at a gross from anywhere from $500 to $700 million worldwide. We then finally talk of the Thunderbolts, and this is a project that I've always felt will likely be the least successful of the 2025 films for Marvel. This is very much the Marvel interpretation of the Suicide Squad, dealing with a group of rogue, mercenary type of outsiders. Despite having some established characters already, such as Yelena Belova and Bucky Barnes and Red Guardian, for me there really isn't enough of a big sell in terms of the concept or the main plot or the story, or indeed the villain. It really feels like this was a movie that was greenlit way back in terms for more content purposes rather than building further foundations within the future phases. Now, being a standalone story may indeed help, and it's certainly going to be a much more grounded, realistic setting, again carrying slight vibes of what we saw already with the Captain America films, and it certainly seems against the grain as the normal tone of what we've seen with the Marvel films. But I just think after the first trailer dropped especially, there still hasn't been enough of that X factor, not enough of that real special, extraordinary element to really pull you in and convince you that this is a major movie that all audiences should be invested in. So whilst I don't think this will be a disaster like the Marvels, I really can't see it really making any big, massive impression when it overall releases. But we'll wait and see overall what happens. So overall, I do think Marvel is probably going to be 1 out of 3 in terms of a real big massive success in 2025. Many people could argue that this year doesn't matter as such because we all know that both of those Avengers films will put in massive, grossing at least $1.5 to $2 billion, especially because you're bringing back all of the OG characters. And we're sure at some stage we'll see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine also integrated, as well as Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. So the success of those films will be enough to kind of pick up any slack that is left over from any failures from 2025. But I do think it will be interesting to see where exactly we view the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the end of this year and where exactly it's going forward, and if there is still enough creative juice to maintain this long-running franchise for the next 5 to 10 years or so. Here's my overall thoughts and feelings when looking at the overall 3 releases of Marvel movies coming in this year of 2025. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any other further movies, television series, or any other topics within the pop entertainment and culture scene that you'd like to see me cover within the channel, also let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please also hit like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.